Okay, guys, there is big news in the peptide world today. Eli Lilly just reported 14,000 websites and listings selling Retatrutide. But the biggest threat to the gray market may not be shutting down these websites. It may be shutting down their ability to take your money. If you're buying Reta online, pay attention. So let me answer one question before you even ask it. Is gray market Retatrutide over? Is it going to disappear off your favorite website? Well, it may be, and faster than you expect, because Eli Lilly isn't just going after the sellers anymore. They are publicly calling on companies that process these payments to shut these illegal Retatrutide sellers down, and they are suing them also. Now, these lawsuits aren't just coming out of nowhere. Back in March, the FDA announced 30 warning letters involving telehealth companies and compounders that were compounding GLP-1s. And it goes further than this. According to Wall Street Journal, at least 16 of those letters involved Retatrutide specifically. So here's what a lot of these gray market peptide sellers online do not realize. The FDA is actually reading and watching these websites. Let's take Graham Peptide, for example. The FDA earlier this year had reviewed the website and found specific evidence that they were selling Retatrutide and Tirzepatide, and they were writing for research purposes only, which at this point, most people realize that that really doesn't matter. That's not covering these websites. The FDA is now looking at anything that's said on the website, and if it pertains to dosing or for weight loss, anything that indicates it's for human use. So if you're running one of these websites and you think that nobody is looking, they are. So here's what's happening. On August 12th, Eli Lilly actually filed suit against 6 specific websites that are selling Retatrutide. These are Texas Peptides, Lone Star Peptide Company, and Legendary Peptide, and 3 more. But 6 companies isn't the part of the story that really got my attention. More than 200 is the actual number that got my attention. That's how many individuals and entities that Eli Lilly has referred to regulators, law enforcement, and licensing board. And as I mentioned before, it has reported more than 14,000 ads or listings or websites in total that have Retatrutide listed for sale. So this is way bigger than just the 6 companies that they filed suit against. But there is one part of Eli Lilly's announcement that nobody is talking about. And it is the thing that could really change the gray market of peptides overnight, not months or years. Lilly is actually specifically calling on the infrastructure underneath these sellers. In other words, the online platforms, the e-commerce companies, and most importantly, the credit card processors. And we have already seen how powerful that kind of pressure can be. Just last month, Alibaba and its US-based payment processor agreed to pay $600 million to resolve federal allegations over illegal pharmaceutical sales through Alibaba Express. Now, this was not a Retatrutide case, but it shows why going after the payment processing or the money works. And this payment part of it really matters because peptide sellers are already having problems. One seller claims that he tried PayPal, Stripe, and Square and was banned from all 3 within 2 weeks. Now, these are just individual reports, but they are not isolated. And now Lilly is publicly asking the payment industry to step up and to act. Now, here's why attacking the payment processing moves way faster than the lawsuit, because a federal lawsuit can take years to resolve. A payment processor can cut a merchant off same day, in 1 day. Now, this is way more effective because immediately they cannot sell their Retatrutide on their website. So they don't have to take down the website's still there, but you go to drop it in your cart, you go to check out your Reta, and it will not process because that part of it has been cut off. And that is Eli Lilly's goal. So in essence, you don't have to make the website disappear. You just have to break the checkout. So back to the question, is gray market Retatrutide over? Well, I think it is fading fast. The days of hopping on Google, finding your favorite website, dropping your Retatrutide into the cart, doing a quick checkout, and having it show up at your door in a few days, those days may be quickly coming to an end. I think the 100-ton Eli Lilly freight train has already left the station, and it is picking up speed. Now, it may not happen overnight, but as the payment processors start putting on pressure and the checkout buttons quit working on these websites, that train gets harder and harder to stop. And these retailers that are still selling Retatrutide online, they are standing right in the middle of the track. So what does all of this mean? What is my prediction? I think we are going to see a shift. I think we're going to see a shift from the easy retail sale of Reta towards direct sourcing from suppliers. So the gray market may not be disappearing, but I think it's going to be going back underground. I think most of these websites are going to pull their Reta and probably their tirzepatide and stop advertising it. So when enough of these websites just decide that it's not worth it to keep it on their website, I think this change is going to happen fast. So what happens over the next few months? Do we see Reta disappear off the websites? Do we see the escalation of the credit card companies not accepting payments? Do we see more lawsuits? Because these websites are going to have to make a decision. Should I continue to keep trying to sell Retatrutide, or is it worth it? Are they going to shut down my whole business because of this Eli Lilly suit? I think this is exactly what is going to happen. And I think in 3 to 6 months that the peptide website specifically for the GLP-1s is going to look dramatically different. Now, again, I don't think this means Retatrutide disappears. I just think, like I said earlier, it's going to shift away from the very visible websites where they are watching to direct from suppliers where there's not as much attention at this point. So if you see the writing on the wall and you really want to understand how the gray market works, watch this video next. In this video, I break down how the gray market works, how to buy direct, and some of the biggest mistakes people make, how to avoid getting scammed. And if you found this video useful at all, please hit the like and subscribe button and notifications so you don't miss what happens next. This is Mike with Pep Talks, and I will see you in the next one.